Ivanka Trump is taking the stand in her father's civil fraud trial. This morning, she testified she was generally familiar with the Trump organization's accounting practices, but is not a specialist.
Now, Ivanka is not a defendant in the civil suit. A judge previously said claims against her passed the statute of limitations. CBS News investigative reporter Graham Cates joins us now outside of the courthouse.
Graham, Ivanka Trump is the last witness called to the stand. How do you think the prosecution is feeling right now? How strong of a case have they made?
That's right. After Ivanka Trump is done, the state's lawyers are going to rest their case. In some ways, they had already won this case before the trial started because before the trial started, the judge said that he found the Trumps and their company liable for fraud, for a decade's worth of fraud, for inflating Trump's wealth by billions in order to get these favorable loans. So a lot of what we've seen over the last month is kind of icing on the cake, is showing that each of these people were involved in some way in this fraud that's already been found, and then documenting how much the state should be owed, how much they're asking for up to $250 million or more. And some of that came into the testimony today, where they're beginning to get to that part of it.
Graham, because there aren't cameras allowed in court, but you were there, I'm hoping you could tell us more about what it felt like, what the mood was like, what Ivanka's testimony felt like. Give us some more color about what it was actually like inside that courtroom today.
Sure. Each of the four Trumps, as they've testified, have really given off different vibes, if you will. Ivanka came in kind of smiling. She glanced over at New York Attorney General Letitia James. Throughout this, she's not been combative with the lawyer questioning her the way Donald Trump was, the way Eric Trump was. She's been answering the questions, although saying she doesn't recall a lot of information, saying information she does recall is only because she had heard it during a deposition previously, not because she specifically was part of it. But she's also had some light moments. She laughed and agreed with the judge when the judge interrupted the proceeding to commend the people running the tech, saying you're getting the exhibits up really quickly and we really appreciate how you're getting through this. She kind of laughed and nodded and smiled and said, I really agree. Thank you very much. That's not the kind of pleasantries we got while Trump was on the stand, for instance.
No. And speaking of which, he's definitely made his opinion heard on this. Former President Trump criticizing the case again today. This time on social media, he called the judge Trump-hating. What kind of repercussions could he face for potentially violating a gag order, not even for the first time, but for a third time at this point?
So the gag order allows him he could say whatever he wants pretty much about the judge himself. What he can't do is talk about any of the judge's staff. And very specifically, this has been in reference to a clerk for the judge who sits right at his side and provides him with legal advice during pretrial hearings, often questioned the lawyers herself. In the very beginning of the trial, there was a social media post by Trump that said derogatory things about her. And then twice he's been fined for violating this limited gag order relating to the judge's staff. The judge has indicated so far there's been $15,000 in fines. The judge has indicated he will get more severe with each infraction. He's raised the prospect of jail time, but that's a whole other thing to think about when the defendant is someone who has Secret Service protection. But he's been adamant. He's taking this very seriously. He does not want the defendants to talk about his court staff, specifically that clerk.
Graham Cates, thank you very much.